Hello, welcome back to the Sing Confidently Live Creatively podcast. Estelle here. I'm so excited to talk to you today about how you are going to become the truly confident singer, actor, performing artist that you have dreams of being. The way that we're going to do this, and I say you, but I really mean me too, because I'm on this journey with you guys. And the way that we're going to do this, I'm going to dive into this today, is we're going to focus on taking our training seriously. In the last episode, I talked about how we're going to have our most creative year yet in 2026, how we're going to decide, make the decision about what we want. We're going to figure out how to get there, and we're going to take those steps, little steps of action, and get feedback. And I hope you've taken action on that. Like, have you been able to make that decision on what you're going to do as a creative this year? Have you been able to set your goal, kind of create a little path for yourself and start taking action steps? And have you been able to get your community? I really hope that you have. I saw one of you join the email list. If you haven't joined the mailing list, please go ahead and join. You can go to creativelybyestelle.com/warmup and you'll get a free warm up when you join the email list there. You can also just join the free community. I have a Facebook group, an Instagram community. Go to creativelybyestelle.com/community for that. Creatively by Estelle. I feel like I say that really quickly. Creativelybyestelle.com. I say it like 50 times an episode, so you probably already know. But just go to my website and connect, because that community is going to be such an important piece. I'm going to be talking a lot more about that this year. And I'm just excited because I'm just going to, I'm really praying over and thinking through how to incorporate more community and more engagement in this podcast space, in our podcast community, and like get us engaged, get us talking to each other, get us learning from each other, connecting with other artists, like get people to listen to your music, get to share your audition tapes with people and get feedback. Like, I want all of us connecting with each other, supporting each other. So that community piece is so important. And I did talk about that as well last week. So that was kind of like helping you start to get into this mindset of like having your most creative career, right? So I really hope that that helped you dive into and just inspire you about like how you can have your most creative year. Sorry, not career, but career too, but I meant year. Um, I really hope that help you get anchored into the fact that this can be a fully, incredibly creatively thrive. What am I saying? This could be a fully incredibly creative year where you are thriving as a creative. That's kind of what I'm trying to get at. And I know that it's possible for you. I know that's possible for me too. And I want to just let you know that I'm on this journey with you. And so that was kind of like the jumping off point. Now, today, I really want to hone in on some specific things that you can do to help you become, not only have the most creative year, but also become a confident creative in your craft as a performing artist, as a singer specifically. That's where I tend to focus on with this podcast, but you can apply this to whatever your craft is that you are wanting to build confidence in as a creative artist. However, the way that you're going to build that confidence is what I'm talking about today, which is that you are going to focus on taking your training seriously. This would kind of go into that section in the last episode. I broke down like the steps towards building confidence, knowing your voice, practicing your voice, expressing your voice, improving your voice. This topic of voice training and taking it seriously, it kind of is like the first two steps. So knowing your voice, this is where I talked about making the decision and having that mindset shift about I can become a confident performer. I know that I can do this. That's where that idea of taking your voice training seriously comes in. That seriousness that you attribute to building confidence as a performer and training your voice. I think that that comes in that like know your voice piece area. And then the practice your voice is when you're practically, it kind of encompasses the idea of practically training your voice. And so if you are ready to really build confidence this year as a performing artist, it means that you have got to become serious about your training and your development. And I'm here to share about how you can do that with some practical takes. And I want to tell you that I'm doing this myself. I am leveling up. Confidence, I feel like I don't want you to think that like, oh, I'm just like the most confident person in the world or the most confident performer. No, I have always had this sense of confidence when it comes to being on stage since I was young. Like I just was always drawn to the stage. Never really, maybe when I was really young, felt shy, but like because I did it so much, right? Which is what where the piece about expressing your voice, you got to get out in front of people and perform and perform and perform. I did it so much as a kid, so much as a child. It just became like second nature. And I just felt really comfortable on stage to this day. However, at the same time, there are different levels to confidence, I feel, and it's still a journey, even for me. And so I want you to know that I'm on this journey too. I'm also continuing to build confidence as a performer in different ways in my voice as well. I'm working with the coach even even more intentionally now and doing my training even more intentionally now for my voice. And I'm also working on acting technique. I'm starting a class in a couple of weeks, which I'm really excited about for acting. And I'm starting dance classes this week, actually. Yeah, very soon. So I'm really, really excited about that as well. So I'm also on this journey of building confidence as a performer by training not only my voice, but also acting technique and dance as well. So I want you to know I'm not just saying this to say this, like I'm doing the thing. And I have been doing the thing with my voice and with teaching voice, like that has been a training process as well. And I've learned from it. And I want to share with you how this has helped me and how you can do this for yourself. So I just wanted to give some context there that I'm not just saying this because I'm saying it like it's real. It's helped me build confidence as a performer to take my training seriously. And in this new year, in order for me to have the most creative year and build a confidence even more, I know that I needed to up level my training even more. And so, yeah, you can do it too. So, first, I want to talk about why this even matters. Why am I telling you to take this seriously? Because up until now, maybe you have been taking voice lessons, maybe you have been singing, maybe you are a gigging like performer, like you book roles, you book gigs and stuff like that, like consistently more than I do. Like you could even be doing that, right? That's great. However, the why that it matters is that it goes back to the mindset piece. It goes back to deciding. And the reason that I want to talk about that I want to emphasize taking it seriously is that I want you to think about how you can keep on growing, keep on developing. Never feel like I don't want you to feel like, oh, well, I've reached the height of my voice training and I can just like coast, I can just plateau. Like, no, we want to always be growing. That doesn't mean that we don't take time to rest, doesn't mean that we don't take time to rejuvenate. Of course, like I'm not talking about push, 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 push. Absolutely not. That's not even healthy for your voice. But I do mean that knowing that this gift that you have is a gift for given to you for a reason. You have There's a purpose for you being able to sing, you loving to sing, you having this passion for singing and performance and storytelling through music and the arts. There is a reason. Your calling as an artist matters. Living a purposeful life as a creative and performing artist matters. Using your gift as a singer matters. And I want you to really take it seriously, whatever level you are on. Oops, sorry, my phone is ringing. Let me turn that ringer off. Whatever level you're on as a singer, I want you to fully, hold on, it's not off. All right, there we go. Whatever level you are on as a singer, I want you to fully embrace where you are and take it seriously that you need to keep on growing and that you can keep on growing and that you can do this. And as you take it more seriously, as you take your craft seriously as a singer and a performing artist, and you show yourself that you are taking this seriously and that you can improve, that is actually the foundation for you building confidence because you're showing yourself through your actions. Your behavior is now aligning with your thoughts and your mindset that, oh, I can actually do this. I can build confidence as a singer. I can become a better singer, right? When you've made that decision that I'm going to become a confident performer, I'm going to have my most creative year, you make that decision, then you get serious about training towards that. You get serious about taking action. Now your behaviors actually match that mindset, right? And that's actually that's proof to yourself, to your mind, to your body that like, I can do this and I am doing this. And then that is helping you build that confidence. So That's why I'm really passionate about the idea of not ignoring your calling. You guys know this if you've been listening for a while. I get very passionate about not ignoring your calling, not ignoring the creative gift that God has put in you, not ignoring, not putting it off, not waiting until retirement to start singing and start doing what you love to do. No, no, no. We are doing it now and we are taking it seriously, right? And so it really matters that you feel like your life has purpose, and your life is not going to feel purposeful if you're not doing the thing that God has put in your heart to do as a singer, performing artist, and creative. Point blank and period. There is going to be something lacking, right? So I really want you to lean into um that idea. That's why it matters that you get serious, right? It matters because you need to take your calling, your creative calling and your creative gifts seriously, okay? And that's and by doing that, by taking action in that, you're going to show yourself that you can do this even more and that you can build confidence. And that builds your confidence in turn. Okay. Another thing I want to share. So then now that we talked about like the why, now let's talk about how you're actually going to take your voice training seriously. And the way that you're going to take your voice training seriously in 2026, this is it. And I'm going to give you some practical things to think about. But this is the crux of the matter. Um, you're going to focus on consistency in your craft over time. Consistency in your craft over time. Let that sink in. There are some hard things here. First of all, consistency can be very challenging, right? Trust me, I know. Ask me how I know because I've failed many times. I've failed many times at being consistent, but I always get back up because I know that I need to take this seriously because it's my calling, it's my dream. And when it's your dream, it's your dream. Like if it's your dream, you're not going to do nothing. You know what I mean? Like if it's your dream, you got to do it. And so that is what helps me to keep going. Even when I do mess up with my consistency, it's going to happen. You're going to make mistakes. But that consistency piece, I think, is like the hardest. Another piece in this statement that I made, consistency in your craft over time, is the craft part. And this is also hard for us as artists because we're usually multidisciplinary. We have multiple crafts that we might be working on. I'm working on singing, and I'm also working on dance, and I'm also working on my acting, right? To me, I kind of combine them into the whole picture of me as a performer. And so that is why for me I'm hoping that it's going to work. I'll let you know how it goes by the end of the year. But over the last couple of years, I've really focused mainly on voice. Like voice has been my number one thing. Obviously, I'm a teacher, I'm a voice teacher. I'm working on my master's in this whole space. So it was really important for me to really focus on vocal training and learning about the voice, right? But I'm kind of expanding a little bit more to include acting and dance, even though I've been dancing my whole life and I have still taken dance classes here and there, but I really haven't focused on acting technique. So I really, really want to hone in on my acting technique this year. So the craft piece can be tricky there, I think, because there are many aspects to being a performer, and you might want to do many at once, kind of like what I'm doing. However, I still think there's a way that you can keep it as focused as possible on your craft. So, what is it that you are focusing on in your craft? Are you focusing on your belt? Are you focusing on just getting yourself on stage more and being more comfortable performing? So I think, or just focusing on just vocal development in general, right? That is your craft, right? For me, I'm kind of focusing on being a performer, leveling up as a performer, which means leveling up my acting technique as well as my dance, as well as my voice. So that's kind of where like that's like my craft focus is right now. But for you, what is your craft focus? I think that's kind of a tricky spot, is like making sure that you're not having too many focuses at one time. So consistency in your craft. And then over time is the other challenging part here. So remembering that it's not going to happen in one day. Okay. That's why we said make this your most creative year yet, right? So over the year, you're going to see so much growth in yourself as a creative. It's over time. It's over time. And so just being patient with yourself. And of course, by God's grace, this isn't the only year that we're going to have. We're going to have more years. And so we as creatives get to keep on creating, keep on learning, keep on growing over time. So that is how you're going to take your vocal training seriously. You're going to be consistent over time. Here are some practical things to think about. And you guys let me know what is helping you, what is working for you, and what do you need to maybe try when you hear this. So one thing that you can do is that you can be consistent with a little bit of practice every single day. I'm going to sip my drink here while you think about that. Every single day. Okay. Now, starting out, you might not actually do it every single day, and that's okay. Like, I also don't really practice on Sundays. Sundays are my day off. It's a day of rest. It's my Sabbath. To each their own, of course. But I really think for the most part, most days of the week, or maybe start with every other day, maybe start with 3 days out of the week, right? But being consistent with a little bit of practice every single day is going to help you to build that consistency in your craft. Because and I said I specifically focus on a little bit every day, because that's if you're just going to do if you're going to try to do like an hour of voice practice every day from the jump, and you've never really had that consistent practice in the past, you're going to burn out pretty quickly. It's going to be easy for you to drop it one day, and then you drop it the next day, and then you kind of forget about it for a couple weeks, and then then you're down on yourself. Shame comes in, all these things. We don't want shame. We don't want to put shame on ourselves unnecessarily. So start small. I've talked about this in the past, many different episodes about habit stacking. After you wash the dishes at night, add 5 minutes of singing, or while you're doing the dishes, add 5 minutes of singing during that time. Put on one of my vocal warm-up tracks. I have many, or you can go to creativelybyestyle.com/warmup and sing along with that warm up and get on the email list as well. And sing along with that warm up. And there you go. You done your voice practice for the day, right? While you were doing your dishes, whatever it is, a little bit of practice every single day, not just as a routine. And this is another kind of practical thing I want to share with you, is that you can actually make this training part feel creative. Like, it doesn't have to be just this boring routine. You can also make it your creative time. So aside from habit stacking, you can have like creative time where you're gonna maybe sit down. For me, I like go like right by the window. I usually do mine during the day, and in the morning, right after I get ready, before I start like the rest of my work and do teaching and all that stuff, I try to do it at the beginning of my day to remind myself that I'm an artist, that I'm a performer. I took that from Amy McNee and Jamie Weinstock, their podcast Unpublished, the Unpublished podcast. If you never heard of it, they talk about this, like starting the day with their art. And that helps remind them that they're artists. And I do that too. But whatever it looks like for you, I really want you to think about like making that your creative cozy time. Like for me, like it's in that morning time I get to like go and like I'm by the window, the light is streaming, it might be cloudy or it might be sunny, but either way, I'm by the window and I just feel this like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing the thing. And you can make it feel creative to you by maybe listening to a podcast on creativity right beforehand. You can make it feel creative by, being like, okay, I'm going to play around with riffs today. I'm going to play around with this one thing. Like, how am I going to make this fun for myself? One way that I make it creative and fun for myself is I like to, well, I record myself sometimes if I'm making TikToks or short form videos and whatnot. But also just to like record myself and like be able to like kind of like see another person, and I can like really dramatize whatever I'm singing, even if I wouldn't actually do it that way in an audition, just to have fun with it. I might really dramatically tell the story through the song, or like think about how I can like tell the story in this really fun way. So that's kind of one way to make it more creative and fun for me. But think about ways to make it fun and creative. Make this your creative time that you block off on your calendar, on your in your planner, that like this is your creative time. And so it's not just like, okay, I have to like press play on this warm up and da da da, but like, no, you've inspired yourself. You've listened to a podcast before this. You have, set up your camera so you can see yourself, and you're reminding yourself that you're an artist. Really have that mindset of like, this is my creative time. that will also help you so that it's not boring, you know? So try to find ways to make it creative, make it feel artsy to you, make it feel fun to you. Um, I have like an episode where I did like some fun warm-ups. You can go sing along with that one. So it's a little bit like some more fun, like less traditional warm-ups. What are some other ways you can do make it more creative? You can make your training more creative by instead of only singing songs, you know, for auditions and stuff like that, maybe add on a little part or piece at the end of your practice session where you're writing a little bit of your own song, where you're just playing around on a piano, even if you're not really sure about how to play the piano super well, just play around with it, play around on the keys and just have fun with it. So find little ways to bring playfulness and a creativity into your training so that it doesn't feel as boring. And I think that's going to help you to feel like you can make it more consistent as well. A couple other tips, have go-to warm-ups that you love, right? Again, I have many different vocal warm-ups available for you, and you can go to my website to get your free warm-up at creativelybyestelle.com/warm-up. That's one word, warm up. Um, Tracking yourself, making sure that you're like noting what you're practicing and when you're practicing that, watching yourself in the camera and the mirror to play around with motions and storytelling, kind of like what I said, like play around with your emotions, play around with your facial expressions. Like that makes like I get really silly with myself. Like I could be telling this like singing this super sad dramatic song, but I'm like making these dramatic faces and motions and stuff like that in front of the mirror or my camera or something. And it's like just allow yourself to get silly and be playful. Lean into that creative and emotional expression, and it's going to make it more fun for you. But at the end of the day, consistency in your craft over time. That's the crux of it. There are some practical things in there that I shared about habit stacking, a little bit of practice every single day, making it fun for yourself, having your go-to warm-ups and tracking yourself. Those are important, but at the end of the day, you just got to get consistent over time. Over this year, you have to, the way that you're going to build confidence as a performer is to take your voice training seriously. And the way that you're going to do that is that you got to be consistent over time. You got to be consistent this year. And I'm right here cheering you on. I know you can do it. Remember why this matters, why it matters that you get serious. Remember, this is your calling. As long as you remember that, as long as you can remind yourself of your why, remind yourself of the decision that you've made to do this, as long as you keep reminding yourself, keep reminding yourself, keep reminding yourself, even when you doubt, even when you miss a day of practice and you're kind of getting down on yourself, don't get down on yourself. Just be like, I'm getting back into it because this is why, because this matters. This is my calling. This is my dream. And I'm not backing down. Remind yourself of that. Remind yourself again and again and again. And you will not give up this year. You will be consistent over time in your craft. And I can guarantee you, if you are doing that, you are going to build confidence as a performer. Like your level of confidence is going to increase, no doubt, because you're putting action into the thing that you want to do. And that is proving to yourself that you can do this. And the reason that you haven't built that confidence up until now is because you haven't taken the action to prove to yourself that you can do this. I want you to do that. I want you to take the action. If you're listening to this on January 5th, when this comes out, this is the last day to join spring registration and get the discount with your very first lesson being completely free. And that is for your weekly and bi-weekly lessons. So if you sign up for bi-weekly or weekly lessons at creativelybyestelle.com/studio, you can get your very first lesson for free. And if you absolutely do not like that first lesson, you can just cancel the subscription. Just tell me afterwards. And I'll do it for you if you really want to. But I am putting that out there and taking this, like, it's kind of like a crazy thing offer to share, but I'm doing it because I genuinely believe in you and I believe in myself too. I believe that I can help you. And I know that if you listen to me and you're connecting with me on the podcast, I'm the same way in lessons. So I just know that we're going to work together well. If we don't, that's totally fine. And you can cancel the subscription. But I just believe, I have faith that like we will work together well and I will help you build confidence. From that very first lesson, I can guarantee you're going to feel a change and a shift in your voice because I focus on helping you do that from the very first lesson. And if you don't feel that shift and that change, cancel the subscription. But if you do, you got that first lesson for free. And that's incredible. And then you have bi-weekly lessons or weekly lessons, depending on whichever one you choose, the rest of the semester, the rest of the spring semester. You'll get those lessons with me, and you will be charged on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis. If you miss a week, that's totally fine. We'll make it up the next week. We'll find ways around it. But that way, you already have it. You already have it set for yourself that you are going to every other week. You have a coaching session with Estelle, and she's going to ask you about your voice practice. That way, your consistency is already built into the year. Does that make sense? Like, I really want to help you build that consistency into your schedule starting this spring. And that's what we're going to do with this spring registration. Again, the first lesson is completely free, but you got to go ahead and register. Go to creativelybyestelle.com/studio and make sure you use the code SPRING, all caps, SPRING, SPRING. That way you'll get that first lesson free. So you won't pay anything today. Go ahead and book it. Go ahead and register. You won't pay anything today whatsoever. You will only pay after your first lesson. creativelybyestelle.com/studio. I'm really excited to work with some of you guys this week or this year, this spring. I'm really excited to meet you and get to connect with you in these lessons. So if that is for you, go ahead and go there and register today so that you can get that incredible discount. If that is not you, I'm still here for you. I still love you, and I can't wait to talk to you in our next episode. Connect with me again in our community groups and our email list. Please get connected. I want to hear from you what you are applying from every episode that that you're listening to. I don't want you to just listen and move on. I want you to tell me what you are applying. Come and tell me in our Facebook group. I am here for you. I'll see you in our next episode. Have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode and to this show. I'm so in awe of you for being here and showing up for your creative gifts. That takes courage. Don't forget to join the Performing Arts community on Facebook for support and inspiration as you continue on your journey. If this episode helped or inspired you in any way, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and share it with someone. It means so much. Thank you again, and don't forget to keep singing, acting, dancing, performing, and living creatively. Talk to you next time.